Thanks for staying with us. We'll be starting front page review with The Nation major headline. IG raises alarm over plot to attack public facilities. DCU abducted in Abia. Gunmen invade school. Kill teacher in Nasarawa. In other news, we have kidnap kingpin Wadume. Others get 7 years jail term.
My sister.
Ondo, Edo, 3 others record 13 new Lassa fever cases. Ohaneze, federal government should wade into Ekwuremadu's case. 18 terminal operators owe federal government $753 million, 1.61 billion naira. And then, anger in APC over non-refund of nomination fees. Southeast, South-South youths begin mobilization for Tinubu, and custom intercepts 234 tons of fertilizer at Nigeria-Cameroon border. So, what do we start with?
Wadume. What do you mean?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, we know how popular the name is, and we know all the stories around it. But we hear that he's just been convicted and sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. Kawai. Only. He was convicted of escaping from lawful custody and unlawfully dealing in prohibited firearms. Justice Binta Yaku convicted Wadume on counts 2 and 10 of the 13 count charge brought against him and 6 others by the office. There's also sorry, I need to get it. A former police officer, Aliyu Daje, a police inspector who was also convicted. And there are so many other names, Awolu Bala, A.K. Omorizo, Ubabala, so many of them. I guess they were all convicted and sentenced. And for many of them, it was about the dealing with prohibited firearms and ammunition, and they got 7 years. I just feel that they could have done better with this sentencing.
Out of all the 13, they could only convict him on 2. Yes. So really, it's about being able to prove the case.
Was from the charge. You know, sometimes some errors are deliberately done from the root up. So from the charge process, from the investigations process,
the cases they couldn't prove.
Yes. No, I think they can successfully nail him for the murder of the 3 police officers.
Exactly. That, you know, maybe they can bring that up in a separate one.
They can successfully nail him on that. You know, he was rearrested after that. So I don't know how the charge was done. And now that they have given him the smallest of the charge and the smallest of the conviction, they might just not want to go back. So I think that is...
Let's talk about what happened in...
The major headline, please. So the Inspector General of Police has ordered... This one, fear, but he says that there should be tight security around schools, hospitals, public facilities, because, of course, there's a increase in criminality around critical national infrastructure nationwide should be protected. I read through the story to see if there was some intelligence he was relying on, but none. And he was just saying that he's now ordered regular patrols, stop and search raids.
There will be more.
Raids and show of force by tactical commanders to clamp down on crime and criminality in some states of the Federation.
The worry is there might be collateral damage.
The war must now be offensive, take the war to the doorstep of the criminals. You know, this kind of open, blank check orders. I have been experiencing it. So now when you drive on the Ikorodu Road, before you get all the way to, even at Second Rainbow, one will stop you at Sonia, one will stop you, police raids. Inside First Act, the police on the roads, all around.
But we know we need security.
We do need security.
But not in that way, please.
Stop and search, get me your phones, open people's bags, all of that is, there should be...
They should work with intelligence,
yes, they should work with...
So what's up with the Lassa fever drama?
Yes, so the Nigeria Center for Disease Control reeled out reports. They said 13 new cases of Lassa fever had been reported within a week in 5 states, Ondo, Edo, Kogi, Ebonyi, and Imo. That's according to their latest report. And they also said since the beginning of the year, 70% of infections had come from the 3 states that I just mentioned, including Bauchi. And the country has recorded 165 deaths from 17 states. Now, they also said the number of new confirmed cases increased from 10 in weeks 30 in 2022 to 13 cases. And we just need to do more to help ourselves. I was thinking they would have given us maybe new information on what to do, on how to protect and prevent this from happening, but it's just more of the reports.
I'm on sick. Serious drama in APC. There is anger in APC over the non-refund of nomination forms. So the president 4 months ago had said that people who stepped down for consensus candidates in the national, they had the National Congress to pick leaders within the APC itself. Those who stepped down were ordered to get a refund of their nomination form because they did not go ahead and compete. They gave room for consensus. 4 months down the line, they haven't gotten their monies. Same thing was also expected after the presidential primaries that took place within the APC, that those that stepped down, that they didn't go ahead with the competition, should get the refund of their money. Nobody has seen money. Making it worse, they made the election cost between 20, the forms cost between 20 to 2.5 million per form. That's for individual. They said the total money that was raised within the party for the internal party election was over 700 million naira from about 170 people. That's aside from the 3 billion that came from the presidential, the forms. And according to party members that are disgruntled, APC has money. So why are they not paying people back their money? You are saying they should borrow Nigeria the money. So the National Working Committee that actually planned these primaries also haven't gotten paid their allowances. They said the allowance that they are supposed to get paid has now been slashed by even 40%. There's a lot of complaints about what is going on within that. It should have been managed better, that these people got consensus to get into power. The first thing they should have done was to implement payment of all of those that stepped down for them. But that hasn't been done yet. The vice chairman, national vice chairman, has said that they regret the delay and that they are going to look into the matters. We're really expecting a whole lot more from the internal party. Oh, okay. Yes, we're expecting more.
I thought you said you're expecting drama. I was wondering.
Oh, I did not. I didn't pay any form. I didn't buy any form. Moving on to the Punch, major headline. Economic crisis. Nigeria's 9 trillion naira oil revenue threatened. Federal government blames theft. Oil production crashes by over 28 million barrels. Yeah. Government misses revenue targets. This is terrible. Monkeypox spreads to 27 states. Cases now 172. Find Mapoli student killer. Abiodun orders police. Others. Amosun's political relevance, validity have expired from an APC spokesman. Raid bushes. Uncompleted building. IG orders policemen. Caution your supporters. Police warns presidential candidates. Others. 27 killed in 28 political incidents in the past 7 months. That's worrisome.
Already.
Okweremadu. Ohaneze faults Malami. 6 federal government intervention. 7 months cashless transaction rise by 41%, hits 210 trillion naira. And Lagos-Ibadan construction, convention, ground traffic. Police ban hawking. So, what are we going with first?
Let me take the human interest quickly. So, the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic student, in fact, she was the winner of their beauty pageant within school. Was reportedly abducted on the Ikweremo Road on her way to a location for a movie. And her body was later found, dumped, and she had been killed. The governor is now using this order issuing an order to the security agencies within the state to find her killers no matter what, saying that, according to a spokesperson, the chief press secretary to the governor, Kule Shomori, says that the governor's administration will not tolerate ungodly and criminal activities that will put an end to this, put the state in a bad light. And so he's ordering that, the killers of this lady be found. I would like to use this opportunity to join voices with her family to find her killers so that they can also find closure beyond what the governor just said.
Okay, so Lagos-Ibadan Road Expressway, as we know the story by here on Sunday, according to the reports, that it was bad. There was traffic on both sides of the road, and this is as a result of the reconstruction going on, as well as the just concluded convention of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The report really is just to say how things just came to a standstill because there were people who were trying to bypass the traffic, were driving, towards oncoming traffic. You know, there were just even people coming out of the Arepo community couldn't come out at all because of the traffic on the road. It was serious. There were accidents on the road in the traffic as a result. And so the police in response has said that, well, they've given the reason. They said because of the construction going on. But what they would make sure is that there's security along that road, that expressway during this period. And they said one of the things they're doing is to make sure that hawkers stop walking around that area, as they've realized that a lot of them are actually hoodlums hiding as hawkers. And then they have also, they said there's a 24-hour surveillance going on, patrol also going on that express road until, I guess, this is sorted out. I guess with this always happens when that convention
But the convention, the spokesperson for Redeem is saying that there's been traffic on that place before, and the convention ended on Saturday and not on Sunday. This traffic took place on Sunday, so they shouldn't
There's always traffic on that road.
The convention with it.
We said the Sunday was just a bit peculiar.
We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with Front Page Review. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still reviewing the newspapers and still within Punch. Monkeypox has spread. We now have a case of 27 states and 172 cases within the country. Between January to August of 2022, the NCDC is releasing the report saying that there was one case in Delta, one in Lagos, one in Ondo, one in Akwa Ibom, 3 in Imo, 2 in FCT, 2 in Ondo, 2 in Rivers, Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Edo. Point is, we need to be aware that there's monkeypox. Read about it. The more you know, the more you can prevent yourself from falling among the statistics. Let's move on to Daily Sun. Major headline, Atiku, Wike camps in Make Ma meeting. Demand for ASUU's resignation tops the agenda. And in other news, you cannot mix the picture of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, left his wife, Vicky, former Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi, Olonishakin, and his wife, Omobolanle, and presidential candidate for Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, during the Holy Ghost Convention service of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, over the weekend. And we have how APC Northwest governors caucus demanded post of vice president, SGF, NSA, key ministers from Tinubu, boast of region's importance to electoral victory and game-changing status. NAPTAN asks union to consider plight of parents as ASUU strike enters 6th month. Federal government goes tough on crude oil thefts. Plans to rescue the economy. Rejig security architecture, unveils command center, whistleblower policies. 2023, will resist rigging, vote buying from INEC. The Nigerian Air Force bombards terrorist enclaves, kills scores in Niger. Bandits abduct Abia Catholic priest, demand 50 million naira as ransom. Nigeria lost over $1.9 million in 5 days due to gas supply disruption, says Obaseki. And the 3.8 billion naira suit. Ex-militant leaders caution Justice Ministry officials against sabotage.
Okay, so I have the laptop. Okay.
I have INEC.
Okay, so let's start with INEC.
So INEC, the Resident Electoral Commission reappointed Obo Efanga at the 2022 annual general meeting and fundraising dinner. We're just talking about INEC and its stance on, the elections coming up. It says that INEC is going to do everything to resist rigging and vote buying in the 2023 elections. And he says that one of the things that INEC is doing is to make sure that the polling booths themselves will be distanced away from the crowd of people, so, to minimize that. But he says that the other level of vote buying really depends on the electorate. He says when people pay for your votes, they have diminished your votes. They're saying that they can take your votes and do anything. You're giving them the power to take your votes and do anything with it and your future. He says that voting, the votes count, And even the politicians realize that it's important and counts. That is why they are buying those votes. So you should understand how important your votes are. And it says there are different levels. It says that is what they call retail vote buying. It says there's wholesale vote buying, where the politicians would have gone long ahead of the elections to elites or leaders of the community, and then they endorse that person after some monies have been paid. And that is one way. Then there's the middle votes buying.
Serious vote buying.
Yes. He said that one happens during the primaries with the delegates. And then this is the retail where singly they meet you. And so you as an individual, you're the one that determines if your vote will count and what it will count for.
Okay, vote buying 101.
What has it? This is a course. Crash course.
The Deputy National President of the National Parent Teachers Association of Nigeria has, his name is Adeolu Ogunbanjo, has expressed his feelings about the ASUU strike. He says it's extremely saddening and disheartening the way ASUU has continued to prolong this strike. The ASUU should please understand that the students and parents are the ones suffering for it. He said in a deal, an agreement signed since 2009, ASUU continues to go on strike, insisting that their demands have not been met. He gave an account of how many times the government has tried to meet their demands, saying that ASUU too should try to compromise on these demands, that even for the IPPIS thing, that the ASUU should accept that platform for payment for now, till things settle down. He says, on the other hand, to talk to government, he says that all government officials, and that he advised parents who are members of that association as well to not vote a councillor, chairman, House of Assembly member within their constituencies, anyone who's trying to represent them whose child is schooling abroad. He says that the option of a school abroad should be taken out for all government officials so that they will feel what we are feeling here.
Honestly, I think that's a clamor that everybody should make right now.
Yes. And then he's also asking us to please back down some of their demands. As I said, that they are not counting, they didn't go on strike to be counting days, that they went to accomplish something, and that is what they are looking at.
Wow. So Hannes Ndiwo asking the federal government to pull all its diplomatic strings and ensure the release of the former deputy president who is facing trial for alleged organ harvest in the United Kingdom. Now, this came as a result of the statement that was credited to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, that the federal government will not intervene with any local or international legal battle involving him. So the National Publicity Secretary of Ohanese, Dr. Alex Obonaya, disagreed with Malami, saying that countries all over the world always find a way to support intervene and support their citizens. Then they cited an instance in late 2018 and 2019. He said Nigeria brought her full diplomatic power and weight to bear in securing the release of Ms. Zainab Aliyu Kila, a Nigerian lady, after 124 days in Saudi Arabia prison over alleged drug trafficking. And they were able to get in and use their diplomatic powers to save her. That this is what is expected for Ekwere Madu's case, saying that they don't even understand why the British government gave them visa when it was clearly stated that they were going for donor. So after giving visa, it seems like there's a conspiracy between the British government, and the federal government needs to do something about it, because it still shows that it's your person in power that is being held in another state. So you have to try as much as possible, if it's possible, to bring the case back to Nigeria and try it.
But it's only a case then.
Moving on to... He reeks of corruption and sentiments. Too high. The two cases compared are entirely different. And the UK could have gotten intelligence on a syndicate that they're investigating and so grant a visa.
Possible.
And prosecuting anywhere in the world is still justice. Why do you want it to be done home?
Moving on to the Vanguard. Major headline, PDP crisis, party governors move to reconcile Atiku and Governor Wike. In other news, let me take the headlines we haven't taken already. Bandits kidnap Catholic priest, demand 50 million naira as ransom. We didn't take that story. Compensation, states could lose road projects over unreasonable demands. That's from the Minister Fashola. And we have windstorm kills 50 in Jigawa. Wow. So which are we taking?
Okay, the Minister for Works, Babatunde Raji Fashola, was addressing press and some Vanguard reporters in his office. He was talking about how the need for the demand for compensation by communities when, you know, contracts are awarded for roads and all of that, slowing down work. It says that they've done the most work, they've gotten the funds, they secured the, you know, giving out the contracts, but then the state governors in whose domain these lands that are recovered for the roads are with are the ones who are owing compensation. And so the continuous demand for it and the failure of government, of the governors to pay that compensation is what is slowing down work. That's basically the story.
We still got time, so yes.
We really don't have time, but really, that's what we can take on from page review for today. It's so sad that they keep kidnapping Catholic priests or kidnapping anybody. Nobody should be kidnapped. We need to do a whole lot more. But we'll go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.